You are listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast series. My name is Mikee Smith, and the interview subject you're about to hear from, it's Mikee Goodman from the UK outfit SikTh. The reason for the conversation is to promote their new album for 2017. It's called The Future, In Whose Eyes? So let's have a listen to what Mikee has to say about it. Here we go. Mikee Goodman, welcome to the Scars and Guitars podcast. You have worked very hard to enjoy a wonderful career producing boundary-pushing metal, rock and avant-garde music. You're also noted for your videography and photography skills. So how do you keep up with so many creative outlets?
I just don't stop, to be honest with you. I need to chill out a bit. But yeah, I don't stop because I also do voiceovers now as well for a computer game. So yeah, it's all getting a bit crazy. And directing 40 different voices as well as that.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, it's all getting bit much really, but summer's coming in England now, so I want to go and chill out a bit, man.
Yeah, no, I can appreciate that. And
I haven't stopped working. To answer your question, I haven't stopped working. Like this album, I was working even New Year's Eve. I worked till 10 p.m. and stuff like that, and I just don't stop. You know, You have to kind of be non-stop and obsessive. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. And one of your major creative outlets is, of course, the band SikTh. And the new album, The Future, In Whose Eyes, is due to be released on the 2nd of June. So what can you tell us about the album?
Oh, it's like it's probably our best album. Like if you look at certain songs and everything like that, like if you take there's 9 main songs and then there's 3 kind of spoken word story kind of things, and then or poems. Yeah, I mean it's a really, really heavy album. It's very intricate and complex, even though it's quite pretty much like the most straightforward album we've ever done, like songs, you know what I mean?
Sure.
There's a lot of like ones that would go well in maybe clubs or something like that, but yeah.
Fair enough. And I first bought one of the band's albums back in the day when physical copies were still a thing, so CDs, and that was the album The Trees Are Dead and Dried Out, Wait for Something Wild in 2003, and I particularly recall a fantastic bass performance from Graham Pinney. How would you describe the band's evolution since that album?
It's James Leach. Sorry, mate, you got confused with the guitarist.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Oops, sorry. Sleeve and it was jumbling around. No, it's all right. How would I... Yeah, I mean, the band has got... James's bass playing is amazing. He was doing a lot of slap on that first album. There is a bit of slap on this new album. And yeah, it sounds good, man. I mean, the evolution is, I think we've got more complex and we've got more progressive as we've gone on. But also, as a vocalist and the vocal writing and everything, I've made it like this album's got a lot of hooks on it the whole way through. It's hooks. Because obviously, early days I was experimenting so much. And I still experiment, but when you experiment, you learn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Then you're like, all right, this is what I should do. This is what this is. So, yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, it's a very much a hooky album, you know. It's very, very catchy the whole way through.
Yep.
But yeah, boom.
I'm a bass player myself, so I recall being floored by the bass playing on that record there. So you'll have to give him some very positive feedback on that front there. It was at a time when there were certainly some good bass players around, but when bass was still being mixed fairly low. So I think along with Ryan out of Mudvayne, your bassist at the time there, is he still your current bass player?
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. So has the core of the band kept predominantly intact over the last 15 years or so?
Yeah, apart from Justin's gone.
Yeah.
Justin Hill, the other singer, but the writing hasn't really changed because I've always been the main writer, and this album I wrote 100% of the vocals and I always write 100% of the lyrics pretty much since the first album I have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, the writing ain't really changed. The core writers haven't changed.
Okay, and speaking of writing, Adrian Smith from Iron Maiden is a guitarist who has had a tremendous influence over many guitarists, myself included, and you've gone one better than most and actually formed a band and played in a band with him. And that, of course, is Primal Rock Rebellion, releasing Awoken Broken in 2012. Great album, by the way. Can you share with the audience what it was like to work with Adrian?
That was amazing. It was just the nicest album I've ever worked on, in that I just enjoyed it. Pretty much every minute of it. It was just, when I was with Adrian, it was just the best, because he gave me so much inspiration, and he's very calm, and he's a very friendly, calm man. And yeah, he taught me a lot of things. It opened my eyes up, you know what I mean? And he inspired me more than anyone has, who I've worked with musically. Because I mean, before, when I was writing in SikTh, I'm like, no, I'm on this journey. I'm kind of creating everything myself. I don't need anyone else's input. A lot of young musicians are like that and everything, but with him, I obviously see what he's done before, and you have instant respect for him and go, all right, well, we're going to go along a different path with this one, so let's see what happens. And he said that I influenced him as well, so kind of good. We pulled each other in different directions and then came out with something quite fresh.
So
yeah, it was wicked. It was wicked.
Yeah, no, because it is a good album. And do you think fans can expect a second album?
Well, I hope so, but the thing is, now that SikTh are busy again, and Iron Maiden are often busy for big chunks of the year, it's really quite hard. And when we're not doing it, then Adrian loves his fishing, as you probably may know.
Yeah.
Like in Australia, he loves his fishing. So you know what I mean? He's like thinking about going fishing when he's on tour and that, and then when he gets off tour, he's like, right, you know what I mean? And me and Adrian, to be honest with you, I half forget that he's in a band when we're hanging out, because we just talk about football. We hardly ever talk about music.
Yeah, your mates.
We talk about football like soccer. You would call it. Yeah. He's my mate. Like, so I don't. Yeah, it's quite hard. But I'd love to do something again. I mean, I said to him, I'd love to do maybe an EP would be as far as we could go with anything new though.
Yeah, cool. So what's your relationship been like with your Australian audience over the years?
Well, we've had a few come over to England, and we've had quite a lot of people come and say how much they love it, but we haven't had. We've had a few inquiries from promoters, and there's the odd thing here and there, but we want to come over to Australia and play to Australian fans, because, to be honest with you, it's at the very top of my list and a few other band members' personal list to go to Australia. Do you know what I mean? It's always been a place I've always wanted to go, so I've never been there personally. Dan Weller in our band's been to Australia, but I've never been to Australia, so I really, really want to go there, man.
Oh, you got to come down. You guys have got to come down. You are received very well, and you're particularly your early material is very well received by. I'm part of the musician community. You're a bit of a muso band down here, I'd probably venture to say. Not to say that the regular punter can't get into you, but you've got a lot of respect from people who play instruments. So, mate, you'd at least have a couple of hundred people in the room looking at where the fingers are going on the fretboard and the drumming and all that sort of stuff. And to complement that, you've got a wonderful vocal style.
Thank you very much, man. Yeah.
So, look, I'm just conscious of time as well. I do have 3 questions that I ask all of my interview subjects. So I'd like you to hear me here and play along if that's okay. And your answers, by the way, can be as not safe for work as you like. We are an R-rated program. So here goes. Choose 3 words to describe yourself.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry.
You're right.
3 words. I suppose intense, complex, and friendly.
There you go. Second question. If you could go back to when you were 18 and give yourself some advice, what do you think you'd say?
I'd say live in the now, but think about everything else, and learn a language, and to be honest, I'd have a good old long chat with myself.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one before about learn a language. That's a really good one, actually, particularly for us in the English-speaking world. We so many, obviously, people who don't natively speak English usually speak English as well as their own dialect, so they're bilingual by default, but we aren't, myself included. I can speak a little bit of French, but not enough probably to get by. But yeah, no, very good point. The final question is, what 5 guests, living or dead, would you invite to dinner?
Les Claypool,
Nice.
Yeah. Clint Eastwood. Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, let me think. Oh man. My head is spun, man. Leonard Cohen,
One.
and Jim Morrison. There we go.
Easy. There we go. Okay. It's a really good list, by the way. And Les Claypool, awesome. He's definitely one of my main inspirations on any instrument, I've got to say. He just floored me back in the day with Sailing the Seas of Cheese and Frizzle Fry. So is that the same for you as well, those two albums?
Yeah, man. I met him backstage in London at one. Well, not backstage. An after show in London. After a show he played, and I was a bit of a fan, but I never am like that, man. I meet all of Iron Maiden a lot and meet a lot of people, a lot of different people in music, and I'm never like that. But with Les, I was just like, whoa, man, you're amazing. I was a little bit like that with Phil Anselmo, but that's the two I've ever been like that. And ever since then, it doesn't. Most people don't faze me, you know what I mean? Because you're just like, music. But when someone like that has such a deep effect on you, it's like, wow, yeah, mate.
Yeah, I probably would have reacted the same way to both of those individuals, by the way. So, yeah, completely understand.
Yeah.
Any final words for the listeners?
Yeah, well, just make sure you flood every message board and every promoter with "Bring Sticks to Australia."
I'll do my bit. I'll share the
and tell everyone, spread the album around, man.
Sure do. Well, I'll do my bit. I'll post the interview to my Facebook page and on Twitter and the like, mate, and hopefully it takes off from there.
Oh, awesome, man. Cool.
It's been good chatting to you, mate.
Dude.
No worries. All the best. You've been listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast series. My name's Andrew Mikee Smith, and that interview subject was Mikee Goodman from the UK outfit SikTh. Thanks so much for listening.